I think he messed up his contract as far as getting max money, but I still think you have to pay the man a decent amount of money, man. It's not going to be you're still not going to get him for cheap. So I feel like me and you were talking off screen, and you said like instead of giving him like 4 years, maybe you give him like 3 years. But is that going to be available if another team offers him max money? Is the question.
No.
And if you and if you give him that money, can you still go out and get your Robin? You know what I'm saying? So um I think that you have to offer the man not what you were gonna offer him after the 60 game season, but somewhere near there. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere near a higher rate. And then I want to put this on the table, man. Just like because what was reporting the same thing you said about Trajan saying this is a tester season. He wanted to test the season, see how everything was going, and they also had these projections. Realistic. I know me and you were talking about the Detroit's maybe picking up a Giannis. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It seemed like you would have to give up half the team to give up Giannis. But we'll put out some more realistic scenarios and of three players that the Pistons might be able to grab realistically. And it was KD, um, Kyrie Irving, and Kawhi Leonard. With Kawhi Leonard being the most realistic one of all of them. And you wouldn't have to give up as much as you would have to give up for Giannis. You know what I'm saying? They're all older guys. You know what I'm saying? They're veterans. They're players that the Pistons can be able to learn from. And I'm not sure how much money you would have to spend to get a veteran. I mean they still superstars, but they're on their way out. I mean, maybe you can get them on an old head contract. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I really I'm really I really want to hear your opinion on it because I don't know where I will go with this, man. I feel like I wouldn't want to give Duren his max contract, but I don't think that Duren will accept anything less. And I want to see what your thoughts are on maybe grabbing one of those three players, or if there's a better player out there that you would rather more have, maybe a younger player or somebody who hasn't been in the league as long as those guys, or somebody who will fit better.
So this is where JB Bickerstaff essentially screwed Trajan Langdon because this decision shouldn't this we should be talking about this the following offseason, not this offseason. But he sped up the timeline by pushing the boundaries. So here we are. First, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, I would let me see if I can find it real quick. Packers running back Josh Jacobs arrested.
Wow,
Um,
good.
Kevin Durant contracts. So let's see. Kevin Durant is under contract with the Houston Rockets through the 28-29 season on a 2-year, $90 million veteran extension signed in October 2025. The deal is fully guaranteed and carries an average of $45 million. So right there, I'm out on. Let me see. Does he have a? Hold on. Let me
It.
see. Player option for 20. Yeah, so he only got a player option. They got a team. I know they don't got no team option. No team option. So yeah, Kevin Durant is under contract and he's got no outs in his contract. I don't want it. I don't want it. I've gone on record saying that Kevin Durant, the way people talk about some players, man, Kevin Durant is that shiny thing, man. Oh, it's a shiny thing. Blah blah blah. Everybody wants Max Crosby. Everybody wants Myles Garrett. But no, Kevin Durant for real. He's that shiny thing. You gonna give up your whole organization to get Kevin Durant because we got Kevin Durant. And then you look up, you done gave up the heart and soul of your team. You done gave up your bench. You done gave up your future and draft capital. And then you got Kevin Durant for 2 years. And Kevin Durant is, again, people want to talk about James Harden. Kevin Durant is not going to show up in the playoffs. He going to look for somebody else to bail him out. And it's just not going to work. Kawhi Leonard, I love Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a weird guy. He's a fun guy, though. He's got the best laugh in basketball. That magical run that he went on with Toronto. The one thing I dislike the most about Kawhi Leonard was I'm mad he left Toronto because he would have been, he would have been a god in Toronto, for lack of a better term. He won a championship with the Toronto Raptors. Like who does that? If Kawhi Leonard opted out of his contract, hey, I'd do it. But again, giving up capital to acquire Kawhi Leonard, I'm not crazy about that. But yeah, if he opts out and he's a free agent and we could get him, I'd be all on board to that.
So I think they were flirting with the idea you would have to give up Ron Holland, a couple of first round picks, and there was one more player they threw in there, but I can't remember who it was.
I'd
And
I'd
so
entertain
so
it.
so for these three players, it's some fuck them picks mentality is the thing they were going with.
Yeah, but if you do that though, Efton Picks is not for a one and done. A guy with a year or two left in his career. How many more years does Kawhi and Kevin Durant got left? Now, if you were to do it though, I love Kyrie Irving. A lot of people find him distasteful or hard to stomach or this guy, blah, 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 blah. I love Kyrie Irving, man. I love the way he plays basketball. I love the way he doesn't care about what you think about Kyrie Irving. If Kyrie Irving was a Piston, man, I'd be all for it. But does Kyrie Irving want to be a Piston? I don't know. I don't know. What would I do and what will they do is always comes down to that. And I keep on saying it. And this offseason might be the first strike against Trajan Langdon for me. But up until now, I've loved everything that Trajan Langdon has done as the GM of the Detroit Pistons. So
Oh, and are you paying Duren?
if I so again, this is gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of balls in the strike zone this offseason for Trajan Langdon. Uh, Personally, I'm praying that somebody offers Duren a crazy contract. That way, I can say, hey, we gave him an offer, but the LA Lakers swooped in and offered him 40 million, and we just wasn't willing to go 40 million for Jalen Duren. I hope that's the best case scenario for me as a Pistons fan. I don't want to pay Jalen Duren. I think Jalen Duren has a lot of potential, but everybody says that if you put people in the paint, then Jalen Duren is rendered ineffective. And if Jalen Duren is rendered ineffective, then why am I paying him? I I don't know. He did some ball handling during the season, and like you said, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to anybody, that evaporated. It disappeared. It was nowhere to be found. He couldn't dribble the ball. He couldn't rebound the ball. His feet were stuck to the ground at times. And I'm just supposed to believe that's just gonna evolve rapidly over the next offseason. Like I'd much rather let somebody else take that project on, and I'd reallocate the funds elsewhere.
So isn't that? But that was 7 games. You would take the 7 games over the 60 games.
Yeah, because I mean, we just kind of differ on this one. I never believed that this was a 60-win team. I fought. I laid down the sword. You know, was in like February. Like, I mean, damn, they done won fucking 40 something games at this point. Like, I keep on trying to say, like, man, they're not playing anybody. But I mean, the season's almost over, so I can't just keep going back to the same thing, saying, well, they're not playing anybody. The season's almost over, so they had to play somebody, right? Right. But then they get to the playoffs, and you see, like, oh yeah, nah, these teams are trying now, and it kind of vindicated what I was saying. Like, they were just trying harder than everybody else during the regular season. There were games where hey, this person's got a broken toenail. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sit them out. Pistons weren't doing that. Pistons were playing every game like it was the playoffs, and they said it during the season. Like, yeah, we play playoff defense every night. Like, it's nothing to us. We just play the playoff defense every night. Nobody else is doing that. so, so you just trying harder than everybody else. I don't know. I don't know if I can believe everything when you're trying harder than everybody else. But when everybody else is trying hard, you almost get bounced as a one seed against the A seed.
But here's where I'm at with Duren. Like, I don't think it's Duren's ability that's in question. For me, it's Duren's heart that's in question, because it wasn't that he wasn't able to do it; he just wasn't doing it. Like, he was in position, but when the time came to jump, he didn't jump. When the time came to put that ball back in, he looked lost out there. He lost something. It felt like he lost something inside of him. And like I said, it didn't show back up into those last two games. He finally woke up, and when he was actually trying to put the ball in the basket, he did. He was dribbling, he was laying up, he was getting rebounds, and you like, finally, me and you texting back. Finally, Duren is showing some life, but and that might be more detrimental to paying him than him actually having skill. Is, does he have the heart to be a Piston? Because I think the skill is there. I think if he puts the effort in, he's able to do it. The the
But
the, the,
how?
the
But how
talent
is?
is there.
But how is the skill there when everybody told me that, well, the reason that Jalen Duren is struggling is because they got all these bodies in the paint.
But
So,
that's not what I saw. I saw a guy, like you said, a guy whose feet was stuck to the floor. I didn't see a guy that was getting out jumped when he did jump. I didn't see a guy that wasn't able to put and getting the shot blocked when he tried to put it in there. I saw a guy that wasn't trying.
yeah. So at the end of the day, you are essentially willing to throw, let's just call it $35 million at a guy that you got to figure out, is it his heart? Is it his mental? Is it his physical? Because if we can pay him $35 million and figure all of this out, then we'll be good. But there's no guarantee that you'll figure it out. There's no guarantee that it's going to be at a rapid pace at which he will figure this out. He might get paid $35 million and come back and be Amari Stoudemire. But it's just, why risk it? That's what I just don't understand. Like, it, I'm risking all of this to get Andre Drummond 2.0. We re-signed Andre Drummond, and somebody said, well, when they re-signed Andre Drummond, the team sucked. So, it's hard to make that comparison, but at the same time, Jalen Duren's skill level is slightly better. Not slightly, it's better. It's better than Andre Drummond at his prime, but I mean,
Because if you get you're risking it, because if you get the guy that you believe that Doran is, then it'll be worth it. Like, you'll get what you're paying for. The risk is he doesn't turn out to be that guy.
that's definitely the risk. And I mean, you say, are you willing to risk it based on the 82 game season that he showed otherwise? Well, he did show that. But then last year, when we go over to the playoffs, I watched Jalen Duren get cooked by Cat. Cat cooked every big man on the Detroit Pistons. Cat was making fadeaway, turnaround. That's a guy that I'm paying $45+ million. And Cat is getting it. Cat's getting paid like $50 million. But I mean, the stuff that Cat was hitting, I mean, Cat will go out there and get you rebounds. He'll give you blocks. He'll hit threes. He'll work you in the post. He'll hit fadeaways. That's a $50 million player right there. Deservedly so. Jalen Duren went out there and got cooked by Wendell Carter Jr. And then he went to the next round, and he didn't get cooked by the bigs of Cleveland. And to your point, he did sit down, but at the end of the day, the bigs for Cleveland dominated Game 7. So I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 playoff series worth of evidence that Jalen Duren still has a long way to go. And if you a 60-win team and the number 1 seed, development, all these words just don't go together. Development, max contract, re-sign this guy, questionable heart, questionable mental, win now. These words are not all aligning. Like it's all over the place. And that's why, it sounds cutthroat, it sounds harsh, but it sounds dismissive. But yeah, man, it would just be so much simpler to walk away from the project. Like, hey man, we got this great investment here. It's a great house, it don't have walls, it don't have doors, it don't have windows, but it's got a great, it's got a great bones. It's got great bones.
So let me ask you a question then. So let's say some team offers Duren a great contract and he takes it and we move on from Duren. Now we don't have a big man. Who do we get to replace Duren? Who is our big man now? Who do we go get? Who is our big man?
You telling me I can't I can't find a 7-footer in the NBA who can rebound and catch lobs? You telling me I can't find that? That seems like an amazingly easy thing to find in the NBA.
I'm asking you, man. Who's the guy? I mean, what's the name?
There are so many 7-foot players in the NBA who could catch lobs and rebound. There's bench players that could do that. And if you a bench player and you get the minutes and you got Cade Cunningham demanding all the attention, and on top of that, you're a no-name guy, so they're not going to pack the paint. Why would they pack the paint on a guy nobody's ever heard of?
So you're talking about replacing a third-team All-Star with a role player?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. Who's left in the who's left that's a role player, in the finals? Like, Wembanyama is arguably the best big man in basketball. I just told you about Cat. Cat is a beast. Jared Allen, he's been a all NBA guy, but Jared Allen can shoot threes. Evan Mobley, this is like he came in with Cade, so this is his 5th year in the league. Evan Mobley could shoot threes. Evan Mobley could block shots. Evan Mobley could dribble. You want to. It's just the problem with Detroit sports, man. Detroit sports, we see a good player and we say, well, there's just no way. He's a good player. We need this guy, but we don't look at the big picture. The big picture, nobody wins like this. Nobody wins paying $40 million to a guy to catch lobs and rebound.
Detroit